The Barossa Valley is famous for its scenery and of course its wines, but it's probably not where you'd expect to find the tropics. However, that's exactly what has influenced this amazing and stylish garden. It could only have been created with the keen eye and sure touch of an interior designer. And of course, a gardener like Steve Angel.
Well, I do think interior design and exterior design really work well together, especially with the way we live our lives now. We live so much outside. And I just find it's thinking about your outside just like you would think about your inside. So it's very much hand in hand, I find.
Are you passionate, or would you say particular about colour?
My friends say OCD, Steve. Very much. Colour to me is very important. It's very harmonious when you get colours blending. Our mind does blend colours very quickly, and that's why when you walk into a room that is well linked, your mind goes, this feels restful or exciting, whatever. And the garden's exactly the same.
Steve began his garden by designing the front yard.
I think we're wasting some of the space that's available to people by not having the front yard as a destination. So we simply build a deck out the front of the house, and that becomes another spot for us to sit.
So privacy is often an issue out the front, but you've created some screening here?
Yes, yes. Well, just a simple hedge. We used a Willow Myrtle for the privacy, and then the Oakville spires just for the sun because we face west, and then it gives you that space that's private.
Now, I notice you've also got glory vine, because this would cook in summer.
Yes, it faced west, and we got a lot of sun through those windows, so just very simple pergolas were put up, and then a glory vine over the top, trimmed up so that they're really a roof, and we get 100% shade and lots of sun in winter, so the sun floods into the rooms. It's beautiful. Because out the front we didn't want to have lawn because we wanted it to be low maintenance, so just a simple pond that's dug into the ground with enough depth so that the water stays a similar temperature. The plants grow, they keep it all very clear and healthy, and the fish love it.
Most of the garden space is in the backyard, which is divided into separate rooms filled with creative ideas. Oh, I love this water feature, very swish.
I love ponds and water and the sound and goldfish. So I think they're really important to have that lovely noise.
They do, and they set a beautiful mood, but I often think they're quite expensive to install. Is that the case?
Well, this one's more dash than cash, really. This wall, for example, is just verticals of timber that's then clad in cement board and rendered and then painted. And the base is actually verticals of timber clad both sides with cement board, liner on the inside, stack stone on the outside, and then just a timber top, which is stained to look like jarrah. So it's, yeah, it's a bit of an illusion.
Beautiful. Now this area looks really inviting. Can we check it out?
Yes, come and have a look.
You're really committed to the concept of creating different garden rooms, aren't you?
Well, it works so well to segregate an area from others. This is what we call our fire pit area, because under the tabletop is actually a stillage box which we use as a fire in winter.
And in summer you can use it for entertainment?
In summer, and we get this lovely shade, so in summer it's a really great spot just to have lunch.
And it's noticeably cooler here too because
beautiful.
of the trees and
yes,
the shade.
Yeah, just that extra bit of shade really helps. I love big dramatic plants. I love strelitzias, and I've got them in pots and in the ground because they create a whole different feel in the two different things. But anything that feels lush, green.
How do you work out how big to make these garden rooms?
I find about 5 metres by 5 metres is enough room for sort of 8 to 10 people at once. Breaking a garden up or an area up actually makes it feel bigger. A lot of people think that it makes it feel smaller, but when you can only see into one room at a time, which is what happens here, you're not sure of what's around the corner, so it's all a bit of a surprise.
So what's in the back garden?
Well, through these doors, I love doors.
They're gorgeous.
This is what we call our Bali garden.
Wow, complete with a Balinese hut.
Yes, yes. This is our summer spot.
So how do you go about creating a Balinese feel when you're in hot, dry and frosty Barossa?
Here we've used bamboo panels, which are very easy to erect, very light, and they work very well. a day bed, which is a must, wicker furniture, a mozzie net. It all goes to add to that feel.
I noticed that you've used bold, big foliage plants like elephant's ears or monstera,
Yes.
which aren't necessarily tropical, but they give you that illusion.
Don't they? Don't they? It's a great way of using something that gives that illusion of being in the tropics.
This area is another room with quite a different feel. It's almost Mediterranean.
Yes, I think the blue pots give that effect, and the blue bottles.
I love that. It shows that garden art can be fun and doesn't have to cost you.
No, well, they were being thrown out from a cafe, and I just love the colour. So I said, oh, can I have those? And I call that my bottle art.
And this is the lawn area. This is your only
This
lawn
is the
area.
only lawn, yes. It's moist underfoot and cool.
Now, I notice in many of your garden rooms, you've got a gap between either the lawn or the paving and the plants in the garden bed. Is there a reason for that?
Well, there is. It's decorative as well as it gives me a chance if I want to run reticulation to a pot or another like. I can just run it under the pebbles, bring it anywhere I need to and then put the pebbles back.
Okay.
And in the paved area, it saves having to pull up pavers.
What tips would you give someone who's beginning a garden? Where should they start?
I get asked that a lot. Often people have a house with a lawn and a fence, and so I just say to them, start with thinking about if you were eating outside, you would obviously do that near the kitchen. So maybe create something with a table and a covered area near the kitchen, and then maybe a seating area next to that. And once you start to do that, you can then concentrate on each little area instead of looking at the whole thing. Much easier to look at small areas. My garden has become my refuge. Come home from work and you just go to one of the areas, and I think in our world of craziness and busyness, a garden is more important than it used to be. So it's very much my zen place where I can just be happy and calm.
She's